Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great, toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered.
In our last video, we saw that Greece was the he-goat and its notable horn was Alexander the Great. The Bible says that the horn broke and 4 new horns rose up in its place. We learned that when Alexander the Great died, his kingdom was divided among his 4 generals. Namely, Cassander, who had Greece and the neighboring countries; Lysimachus, who had Turkey; Seleucus, who had Syria and Babylon; and Ptolemy had Egypt. Verse 9, out of one of these 4 kingdoms, a little horn arose. Let's dispel the papist view of the prophecy. The little horn was not, I say not, Antiochus Epiphanes. As stated in the last video, Seleucus, one of Alexander's generals, is the father of the Seleucidae kings who ruled Western Asia from 312 to 64 BC. Seleucus Empire is the Syrian and Babylonian portion of the 4 horns. From the time of Seleucus until the time when Greece fell to Rome, 26 kings ruled in succession. Antiochus Epiphanes was one of the 26 Syrian Seleucidae kings that ruled Syria before it fell to Rome. Verse 9, the little horn waxed or grew exceedingly great, surpassing the greatness of the Persian and Babylonian powers before it. 190 BC, Antiochus the Great, the father of Epiphanes, was terribly defeated in a war with the Romans. In 188 BC, in the Treaty of Apamea, Antiochus the Great maintained peace, by paying Rome a hefty indemnity of 15,000 talents of silver, plus other taxes. Under the terms of the treaty, the size of his kingdom was reduced, and he had to surrender hostages, including his own son Antiochus Epiphanes, to the Romans. 187 BC, Antiochus the Great died a year after being soundly defeated in the Battle of Magnesia. His younger son, Antiochus Epiphanes, who the Romans allowed to return to Greece, conspired to have his brother, Seleucus IV Philopator, killed so that he could ascend to the throne. Greek historian Diodorus Siculus states that, though Antiochus took the name Epiphanes, he was glorious in name only. He was exceedingly extravagant, many considered him a fool and gave him the nickname, Epimanes, which means the madman. 164 BC, Antiochus Epiphanes died ingloriously in Parthia, parts of modern-day Iran, Iraq, Turkey, Armenia, and Afghanistan, while attempting to fight the Jews, in the Maccabean revolt, on the one hand, and the Parthians on the other. Contrary to the prophecy of verse 9, Antiochus Epiphanes did not become exceedingly great. He was allowed to rule at the behest of Rome, as a vassal king, and paid taxes to the Romans until the day of his death. Verse 11, the little horn will stand up against the prince of the host or princes. Revelation 1 verse 5, the Prince of Princes is undoubtedly Jesus Christ. Antiochus Epiphanes died 164 years before Christ's birth. The prophecy cannot, therefore, apply to him, for he does not fulfill a single specification of the prophecy. The little horn is not Antiochus Epiphanes. I will now show that it is indeed Rome. In both prophetic delineations of Nebuchadnezzar's image and the 4 beasts of Daniel 7, we have found that the power which succeeded Greece as the 4th great power was Rome. The only natural inference would be that the little horn, The power which in this vision succeeds Greece as an exceeding great power, is also Rome. Verse 9, the little horn rises up out of one of the four horns of the Grecian goat. 168 BC, in the Battle of Pydna, the Third Macedonian War, Rome conquered Macedonia. Macedon was the province of Seleucus, one of Alexander's generals. The little horn becomes exceedingly great, toward the south. 30 BC, Octavian, or Augustus, defeated Egypt in the Battle of Actium, and made it a province of Rome. Verse 9, the little horn waxed exceedingly great towards the east. 65 BC, Rome conquered Syria, to the east, and made it a Roman province. Also in verse 9, the little horn waxed exceedingly great towards the pleasant land, which is Judea. In 63 BC, Rome made Judea a province of Rome. They would eventually destroy the city, the temple, and scatter the Jewish populace. Verse 11, the little horn magnified himself against Christ, the prince of the host or princes. Verse 25, he will consider himself superior, destroy many, and stand against Christ the prince of princes. It will destroy, kill, a great number of Christ's saints. The historical record is replete with instances of saints, who disagreed with Catholic dogma, being killed en masse. The verse continues, by the little horn, the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. The word sacrifice is supplied by the translators. Daily, ta'amid in the original, means regular or constant. The little horn will take away, or put an end, to that which was regular. Throughout its entire history, Rome existed in two forms, pagan and papal. The pagan form, being the first, would be replaced by a new form, the papacy. And the place of pagan Rome's sanctuary, or worship, the city of Rome, was cast down. The seat of government was removed, when in 330 AD, Constantine shifted his seat from Rome to Constantinople, Istanbul in Turkey. Revelation 13 verse 2, the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. Verse 12, a host was given against the daily, pagan Rome. Barbarians, such as the Heruli and Ostrogoths, descended from the Caucasus Mountains and sacked Rome. They would eventually convert to Catholicism and became the perpetrators of the same empire in another phase. Verse 12, it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced, and prospered. Biblical truths would be replaced by Catholic dogma, and the Romish Church extended its reach to the four corners of the earth.